Speaking of which, Jeff Bezos just bought the most expensive house in LA.
Why would you ever want to buy the most expensive house in the most inflated market in the entire U.S.?
Well, according to facts and data, Jeff Bezos, he bought this house. It's like $165 million.
Stats and facts and data.
Right. Literally, it's a $165 million house, and it accounted for 0.8% of his net worth. Imagine buying so the equivalent.
So do we know what he's worth right now? This is post-divorce, right?
Yeah, so this is post-divorce. He's still like one of the richest people in America.
Yeah.
So if you made so right now he's worth $131.9 billion. That's his net worth currently. So for context, it's not even 0.8%. It's an 1/8%. My bad. So it's not even zero. It's not even like close to 1%. It's an 1/8%. So it would be the equivalent of if you made $60,000 a year,
which is a pretty average postgraduate.
Yeah, that's solid job. If you're making $60,000 a year, I'd say you're doing pretty good. That's like spending $75 on a house. Imagine being able to buy like a decent house for $75 if you made $60,000.
Decent house? You mean the most expensive house in LA?
Yeah, I know, right? But the craziest thing, so it's the Warner estate, which spreads out over 9 acres in Beverly Hills.
Is this the Warner Brothers? Is that?
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was
the name like Warner, and being in LA, it makes sense that it would be called.
It was previously owned by David Geffen, another unimaginably wealthy man. So I don't know who David Geffen is. But it's pretty fascinating. Yeah, so the Warner estate was designed in the 1930s for Jack Warner, who was the former president of Warner Bros.
Boom.
It took a decade to construct. It has terraces, guest houses, a tennis court, and a golf course.
But Amazon isn't...
In Beverly Hills, dude.
What? Why would... Wait.
And that's just one of his houses. He's also spent...
Because Amazon is not in L.A. Amazon's in Portland or Seattle or something like that, right?
Yeah, but they've got HQs everywhere. I mean, he's also spent. It said also in this article somewhere else.
If I had Bezos money, I'd be buying houses all over the world too. No way I'm about to stay in a hotel or an Airbnb. I'm buying houses.
Yeah, exactly. And it says that he spent around $80 million on a few New York apartments earlier this year. So it's not clear where his current permanent residence will be, but he's just got houses everywhere, bro.
I think when people buy quote unquote a few apartments, they buy them strategically so they can then make 4 apartments into one big apartment.
Yeah, maybe
like a 2-story New York apartment.
Yeah, I mean it's honestly crazy, but it's just insane to think of the fact that like Jeff Bezos, like in our lifetime, has become one of the like most wealthy and like powerful people, and it doesn't seem like he has any sign of like wanting to like slow down or anything.
Well, what I think I appreciate the most about Bezos is his forward thinking, and what I mean about that is like in 1994, he had this little office, and he was tippity
in like a garage or whatever,
and he was like messing around with his computer, and like. He's like, yeah, we're going to start with books, and then we're going to expand, into whatever. And, I'm already $1 million company, but, I still drive this 1989 Ford Taurus. And, he seems like the type of guy that like understands what I call the long con, like it's similar to the same guy. Who's the guy who started Alibaba? I
don't know.
I know who you're talking about.
I can't remember his name.
Insanely rich.
He's one of the richest people in China.
Yeah.
And he was one of these people that like when he was 6, he didn't understand. He wanted to learn English, and the only way he could learn English was by giving out tours of the city to English tourists. So because there was no English books in the libraries, there was no English taught in school, but he knew he wanted to learn English. So he started giving people tours of the city and then picked up English from those people. And, I just think like there's certain people that I think are destined for greatness because they understand like the long term versus the short term. I mean, look at like Gary Vee's story. Like until he was 31, he was working at his dad's wine, seller,
Yeah.
just hustling, 14, 16 hours a day, just grinding along, doing his thing. Like there's so many people out there, I think that,
Yeah,
they get their overnight success that took 20 years.
Yeah.
It's just overnight recognition. I think it's like all of a sudden overnight they get recognized. They become like, for example, like Gary Vee wasn't around 3-4 years ago on social media really, but he owned
he was, but only to the people that knew who he was. I mean, I remember
the
reading
wine people. Yeah.
No, not necessarily 3-4 years ago, dude. I read Crush It in 2013. That was 7 years ago, and he was very much active in social media.
Huh. Well, I guess I mean it in the sense of like when
he didn't have 1 million followers, but he was very, very active in building. And that's the thing is that was before he built VaynerX. That was before he had his main company now that's literally a giant advertising agency. That was before he started any of that. But he's a very interesting person because he doesn't need to give out all the free value that he does, but he's trying to create massive legacy. Mm-hmm. And that's why he does what he does, because he could just chill. He could just,
stay in his high tower and run his business.
I mean, he's got stock in Facebook, Uber, Twitter, Snapchat, and Twitch. Like he's got like so much stock in like badass companies that panned out in the long term majorly.
Well, not just that, is like he still has connections with his dad's wine company and distribution,
winelibrary.com.
Yeah, he also his agency is the agency that is responsible for like running Super Bowl ads.
It's Fortune 100. Like it's crazy.
Like he does not need to be doing what he's doing, but he does for the long term.
Hope you enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full episode that clip was from, you can click right here. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you can click right here. And if you want to watch more clips, we got 2 more right here.